This is Secret Space Program, 1985. I'm not sure what the 85 means. 1985. We're about to find out. Our blessings. Here we go. Actually, I have some idea. I'll have to look it up though. But anyway, here we go. Blessings. Greetings to you. We are the Zetas. Yes, you're going more into yourself, into your biology of why you are here. You're, as a secret space program crew member, yes, you come. Some of you are getting memories at this time of your past, of course. Now, 1985 is a birth time period for many that were born during that time. You can say it's from the 80s to 85, actually through the 80s to the 90s, but these are many that are awakening to the secret space program energies are, you are crew members of this. Now, some of you might not everybody's going to have this, and not everyone needs it, but some are getting the downloads because that's their mission. Why are you receiving this mission of secret space program, ships, weapons, all these things? Is because you are involved with it. You're right there in a parallel reality, other versions of you, but it also has to do with you speaking about it because you're going to awaken others or connect to others of your kind, of some kind, or looking for information even for your own healing. Because a secret space situation is not exactly the most unstressful life. For some of you, it's very stressful. That's why you're remembering what you do, because you're going through hell of the mind. Especially battling reptilians, battling whatever it might be. Because there are secret space realities where it's very intense, very insane. And that's what people aren't fully understanding. As they know, there's parallel realities, but a lot of this is coming in is because now is the time for the awakening of it, to bring in that energy also for disclosure. As more people, so some people are going to connect to alien beings, some are going to connect to secret space program, some are going to connect to genetic engineering and other realities, especially when you have an animal combined with a human. Some are going to have memories of that. You're going into a full awakening. So yes, the human is opening itself up. And that's the age you're going into. You say your December 21st is kind of like that, but this has been going on for some time. It's bigger than December 21st, meaning that just some people just need that energy for their growth. But you're going through many milestones. All this is digging into the enlightenment that is you. So now's the time for this new energy to come in. Basically unmasking yourself from other realities. So this might be hurtful too. Once again, many that are part of this awakening, I believe many of them that are whistleblowers feel like they went through a great amount of pain. So in this reality, this is how they express it. Some have been killed in other secret space program realities, and they incarnated here to share their experiences. To them, it was yesterday, even if it was a long time ago. It might not have been that long ago for some. This is why they can talk in detail. It's postmodern syndrome. It's like coming back from the Vietnam War. But many of you have not been there, but they have. And doesn't mean they're here to really convince you, but they are here to heal others who have been through the same thing. So think of it like Galactic Vietnam. All right, blessings. Here we go. This is Christianity. Yeah, it's going to go really well, isn't it? Okay, blessings. I'm not sure if we're going to do any other religions or just Christianity. It gets butchered enough as it is. Might as well add a little bit more love to it. So, blessings. Here we go. Greetings to you. We'll just own it. We are the controllers of the world. One of them. Greetings. Christianity is just a. Before we go into that, I also wanted to say that we are beings that don't really have a sex or gender. Yes, we might show up as male, but as females, but we don't really call ours. We're like genderless beings for the most part. We don't act in those ways. But some of us do have a male, female type of, we just kind of find what works for us over time. As you are doing here, many of you have found what works for you, for your project, your mission, your point of, we'll just call it point of sale, because you kind of have to sell yourself here. Not sell out, just sell yourself. Christianity, basically, it should be more. Religion should be titled, but we'll just call it Christianity because it is a popular group, an archon group that does not want you to evolve as quickly as you'd like. Christianity was built to slow the soul down in progress, to also help you learn, or of course, also to unlearn. As many of you understand, it's like, why do I keep making the same mistakes over and over again? Well, that's kind of the point. Now, you're learning all this learn and unlearn all together, but it's actually there to defragmentize the soul, to really complicate things. As it does with the mind. The mind is not as strong as it used to be. As many of you know, as you get older, or if you can master that, well, some of you are going more spiritual too. So the third dimensional physical reality is so breaking apart so much. You don't even want anything to do with a physical reality. So of course you're going to forget things, forget your ATM number, whatever it might be. Your kids' names, because you call them something else. Hi, Cosmos. Hi, Moon. Hi, fifth dimension. Hi, sixth dimension. Now, interesting how we're going to jump around a little bit. How parents name their children like Apple, Rainbow, even April. Those are more like fourth dimensional energies. Doesn't mean you have to fully do that, but the names on your world is very third dimension. But then all of a sudden you call your kid, one kid's John, the other kid's Apple. It's like, did you name yourself? Well, yeah, I wasn't going to come in this world unless I have a strange name. So it has a lot to do with your development here. Also, the Apple child is basically the wild child. Is going to be an alien child for the most part, and your child Dan is going to be more humanoid. Now, some of you are changing the energies of it, taking the name John and making it more galactic, but you need that energy for John to be part of the Earth's purpose. Well, to fit into a certain degree, you make it your own energy, but some of you take that name and toss it and call yourself something else. Cosmos or Galacticus or whatever it is that you're interested in. Alien beings also have millions of names for themselves. I know this has nothing to do with Christianity, but realize that beings don't want you to have a name, or say spirit beings don't need a name, and that's fine. But some beings just keep on adding the names. Today I'll be called Porcupine. Tomorrow I'll be Sun. The next day I'll be Georgia Guidestones, for example. Christianity was there just to bring, confusion beyond. And some of that's part of the Anunnaki, of course. Anunnaki, yes, is more connected to the Jewish race, yes, of course. Well, it's more organized, as you can see, than other religions. And it's basically to keep structure in your reality. As many of you incarnate in Christianity, structureless. But you're learning different lessons. You say they're all learning the same lessons, but it's still different lessons. Because the Christianity energy is there to separate the soul from its old knowledge. It also allows you to bring in new. It's also there to bring in frustration. As many of you know that are in religion, Christianity does bring, and other religions, but many does bring a lot of frustration. So there's different levels of religion within a religion. Like within Christianity, there's different levels. The frustration side of it shows like, what's the point of all this? What are you selling me? That's too much. So Christianity is selling, even the stories is a vibration. And you go up the ladder where you no longer need it. But then you start dissecting everything. So you're always moving. It's another way of moving up the levels. Doesn't mean you get a crown or a jewels or anything like that. It's part of, it's like the soul's like, okay, we just zeroed out the soul's knowledge. Here's some more that makes no sense. There's confusion. And then your soul absorbs it, kicks a lot of it out. Okay, I'm done with that level. And you go to the next level. Some stay at a certain level, especially the level where they feel like they're the fear of God, drink wine, do everything the church is saying, enjoying the control. And then there's others that become rebellious, and they're I wouldn't call it they're at a top of a level, but they're at a level. We don't want to say one level is better than the other one, but every religion has a level of the soul. Teaching you what is in Christianity that you need for your growth. You might not need anything else. Maybe you just need one book of the Bible, and maybe just a sentence. Maybe just a word. One of those words is Anunnaki. There's a lot of light codes. Aliens put the Bible together. You might say humans did it, but human aliens, so aliens, all of you kind of hang out together. It's basically an alien codex, where it might say the story of man, but there's so much more than that. So why are Christianities reading a book from a Jewish religion? Why do the Christians have their own religion? Well, because they've adopted energies from others that are alien. You're just taken to a different level of learning. As your Jewish groups learn from a certain way, Christianity learns from a certain way. It doesn't mean one's better than the other, but all religions have a certain levels of growth. And when you get to a growth where it's like, I don't need this anymore, because I wouldn't say pass the test. I mean, yes and no, you just don't need it anymore. Especially when you see the bloodshed that a lot of these religions cause, a lot of mind control, a lot of hardships it causes. That was kind of the point. It's not there to be easy on you. It's there to test you, to fragment the soul. Take a loving soul and fill it with confusion. And it's up to you to find truth with all of that. That's what this world, the masterpiece of this planet, is to take you from what you're used to. What would make sense in spirit? To understand the lower astral, because it works for religions, all of them. If religions were all positive, there'd be no wars connected to any of them. So that's where lower astral works within religions to control humanity. And some priests and popes are demonic beings. You don't need us to tell you that. So, okay, this is Steve Jobs. Blessings. Here we go. Greetings. This is Steve Jobs. I am an Arcturian at this moment. I am, yes, interested, of course, in your technology, as my incarnation, as you can see, was part of seeding knowledge here. But I have moved on from technology and learned more about my spirituality, how to treat people, how to be a better person. As the technology was a link to how to make for me to connect to humans. As you can see, I was not exactly the best human, but for the time, it was what was necessary. So, to give you an understanding of that, well, obviously not everyone's going to agree with that, but we'll give you a perspective. So, those that knew I was very hostile before my incarnation, they saw that I would be perfect for a world like this to bring technologies in. My hard-headedness can be my downfall, but also my growth. I agreed upon it. Of course, I didn't agree with a lot of things they said. Basically, the councils that brought me in. And as you can see, I had my incarnation. And I found a lot of my flaws that I thought was okay before. I thought everything I did was okay. Of course, I learned over time that was not okay. A lot of that comes from even my Syrian incarnations where, yes, I had children and just walked away from it, which was actually normal for a lot of Syrian societies and, in serious constellation. It was normal because I felt myself as a warrior, an intellect, a spiritual figure, and I took what I wanted and did as I pleased. On your world, I realized that because it has a lot of Pleiadian energies on your planet, what I did came back to haunt me. Basically, having a child out of wedlock, and ignoring my child, and treating the mother of my child horribly. And even now, I'm still making peace with her. If we still are kind of angry at each other, we're both growing up, or actually, we're both lion beings in our early incarnations. And we always were attracted to each other, but then we had to grow up together. And that's where you see where the flaw was. So not to say I'm going to copy what I did, meaning to have children again and then just ignore them. As you can see, I learned that in my life to have children and not run away. And that was very difficult, meaning that I finally learned responsibility, but even when I had children, I was still having trouble with it. Doesn't mean I wanted to run away, but I was kind of scared of the whole situation of having kids. Like, what's that? What am I doing with this? So it's more important, children are more important than any technology. And that's what I learned also, which was very, very difficult. Now, for the time, my hot-headedness had a purpose, but now when I incarnate again, it's unlikely I'll ever be like that ever again. If I own your world or any world where I need to bring technology, it's just I'm not that person anymore. And there might be some of that a little bit, but it's not a sign of myself. I mean, yes, you can trigger that out of a person, but then I might hate myself more than anything, though, because I built a conscience around it. Before I did not have one. I was an artist, but an artist with no conscience. It was cautious, thinking care. But now I'm doing conscious care, and I'm seeing myself more clearly. So it's just been a deep learning for myself. So for those of you that are, so what do I have other than that? Just, you can say this is kind of my confession. All right, greetings. This is Siberia. Blessings. Greetings to you. This is the controller of the Earth. Greetings to your civilization. Siberia is a place where alien aircraft is hidden. Technology is underground. Sahara Desert is another place for that. Now, understand that alien beings are not always aware of all the activity here. It's kind of impossible, and there's so many different species, as you do not know what's going on across your world or even your neighborhood for that matter. There's no way all these alien species can know exactly what's happening. There is, yes, a council that's assisting your Earth, of course. And of course, you ask them about alien contact, they're going to say, we can't. Now, there's different ways of looking at alien contact. Will or will it? It's always going to be up to humanity to end the sarcasm and allow themselves to upgrade from junior achiever to senior achiever and further. Many of you have already been in those places of a higher density of ideas, but not for ego reasons, for a reason just to help modernize your world. Of course, why do you think you came here? Many go into a mental state of insanity. You're here because the world needs you. You wonder why you despise this planet, many do. That are in a spiritual environment, many of you don't care about nature. Nature is beautiful, but why is nature why is nature putting itself through this? Make it a desert planet. I mean, might as well be the energy that the world is. But nature is here because humanity needs it. You're here because humanity needs it. You're here for your own growth too. Can you handle a war zone? A war zone doesn't have to have bullets flying around there. It can have a holiday called Christmas where everybody despises each other. Where you cannot say what's on your mind. Where these large corporations, once again, are so adolescent, you can't say what's on your mind. There are different kinds of controllers of the world, of course, and many of them are minded. They are not aware of what their full potential is. They have weak souls. Well, they're just going through a lot of internal healing. So you're here to mature the elites here too. The Illuminati do exist. Yes, they're not going to always show. Of course not. I mean, people get tired of waiting, so they just stop caring, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean they still don't exist. I mean, there are people here with so much power they want to do with themselves. But the last thing they want you to know, I mean, you say there's no elite. What's going on with your media currently? What's going on with all the censorship? There's no elite here. There's no Illuminati. But yet we have censorship everywhere. Even in religion also. So you can say elite do not exist all you want. You might want to think again about that. There's different layers of that. Not all elites talk to each other, and not all aliens talk to each other. So Siberia is a place where there is nobody paying attention. If there is alien aircraft there, no one's going to really care for that matter. Not that they make themselves that clear, but they don't. Aliens don't care. People don't care. It's just a love connection like you would not believe. The same thing happened in Siberia, happened in the United States. Everybody panicked in the United States, and so on. Europeans have grown tremendously, and because of the history, they have been through a weakness themselves throughout life. And many have incarnated in the United States too, because they're not ready to get over the traumas of their life. Well, a lot of those in the United States have been through a lot of trauma in their past life. But also many in the United States are here to help evolve the fear into non-fear country. So the United States is like the one last place to be cultivated, create a society. Everywhere else you have civilizations, except for parts of Africa, and you don't really have cities. Well, not that you're to your knowledge in Antarctica, but the United States was the last place to be built for growth. Not that you're not having growth other places, but this is still kind of like a child of the world. It is very advanced sometimes, but not always mature on many levels. There's much more to it than that. But you don't always have to mature. Some of the more higher dimensional beings are the most immature beings on the planet or universe. But you don't have to be, there's a certain amount of maturity, basically allowing the mind to allow new things to come in. The mind has been programmed to shut information out, like your MJ12, MK12, MJ12, and so for your secret space programs. The mind's been told that none of that exists, but yet you have your religions are pretty much saying the same thing. So many of you are finding, yes, a new religion, but also the secret space program, at least it's letting you acknowledge who is out there. Believe what you want to believe. It's expanding your universe. And many of you that feel like the secret space program is actually fulfilling you greatly. And there's nothing wrong with that. Go where you feel fulfilled. Some go where there's ice cream. Other of you go to where the stars are. There's always going to be somebody here that wants ice cream in a movie and that's it. And others of you want a spaceship, go to Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and so forth, and carry on. There's always going to be people that are not wanting that. But that's okay. It's just when what many of you are projecting out there of the stars, and it's being refused by our society. Society has to grow up. It's doing that sexually wise to a degree. But yes, many of those that are awakening with alien knowledge will also want to say that some of them are going to be they're not going to like humans. I think they're already out there. But they're going to start saying their beliefs more loudly one day. It's like, they will. They just will. It's like, we don't like humans. We're human. We believe in aliens. We believe in spirituality. We believe in all these things. Humans are the most disgusting things we've ever met. We're just saying because that's what we pick up. And some of them already experience that now. Not that we're trying to project that, but we're just giving you, it's just like with sexuality. Some people are a certain sexuality and just can't, just say hetero people are just horrible. And that might be justified to some degree. Society is weaponizing everyone. It doesn't need to be like that, but that's the extra evolution of alien people not liking normal people. Not that we want that, but from what we have seen, what your world's been through, it's inevitable. Not that we're trying to project anything like that. So, the reason we're saying it is so you can heal it, be aware of it before it comes. It's inevitable because the souls are hurting. They want to be heard, be seen. They don't want to be shut off anymore because those that believe in alien energies are going to get louder here. They're still in their infancy, you could say, of saying things publicly, but there will be a time when they're just going to say, the hell with it. Now's the time. And then people are going to, just like you have in your sexual revolutions and any other racial revolutions too. Same thing. Okay, greetings. Okay, this is trusting your spirit self. So this might be nothing new to some people, but people are wondering what to trust. Basically, trust what works for you. Notice how religion's taking away people's power. So you figure out what, like, the more that you trust the energy around you, obviously you can connect to other people's ideas and all that. But what works for you? Because the more that you feel protected, that you're in the right space, and that's not easy to get there. Then again, who is ever really there fully? But it's like who to trust, right? You go by your feelings, you feel it out, and you trust your guide council that's around you, and you just, like your spiritual house, you could say. So when you're ready to cross over, you have a better idea of where you're going to go. And that's just, clear out the darkness of the soul, or experiencing the darkness. It's like accepting you for who you are. Obviously, you can always move up in the world energy wise, but it's still, it's love yourself, which is not easy. It's a slow process, of course, but it's just the energy around you that that you're on the right track. Basically, just like I said, all this sounds simple, but doing it's another story. It's just you feel like you know where you're going to go. Like, I'm talking about more into spirit, but also because a lot of spirit beings cannot be trusted. You see the way this world is. You see the cults that are here. Cults don't want to be exposed. Now, some you can say are okay, but some are very controlling. So mind control. Well, some people need that for their growth, and that's fine. But you can't save the world or Earth. But it's like, if the spirit world was so perfect, why do cults exist? Why is some people that in the spiritual community trying to hijack other people to rule them? I know that the world's going through its pain, and people are trying to evolve. And some people in the spiritual that are very professionally, spirituality-wise, are just thinking about their bottom line. So it's just a lot of, I feel like we're going to go into a time of awakening spirit itself, meaning that we're going to find out the spirit world, is not the paradise that people think it is. And get more truth here. And these are going to be hard truths. It's going to hurt a lot of people. I mean, that, of realization that the spirit world is not, not all, candy and everything is nice. Obviously, there's darkness there. Even the positive spirit beings are corrupted themselves. Obviously, they're not going to say yes to that. Some will. That's where it gets complicated. But it's just finding your space that works for you, and that brings in a new energy field overall. So, I'm not sure if any of that makes any sense, but that's I'm not sure if any of that makes sense, but anyway. All right, we do channeling on it. So blessings. All right. Greetings to his Archangel Michael. Souls are going through a proclamation of understanding themselves, of a higher level, of you yourselves becoming spirit guides. This is actually a spirit guide training center, actually. So you're just not realizing it. As some of you, no matter what you learn here, does not matter. It all matters, but it's all higher knowledge. Some feel like it's, you need to be at this certain level. Whatever level you're at is fine. Because what you're achieving here, you can give advice to others. And that's the whole idea. So if you get it wrong, you get it right here, it doesn't really matter either. You learn something. Of course, even if you don't learn anything, in spirit say, wow, it took me like 100 times, I still didn't learn that. But at least you learned that, and you can apply it to others. The idea is to applying your knowledge to others. There's always growth. Yeah, the spirit world has a lot of darkness, and that's why some of you bring in darker spirit guides around you. Not that they're dark, it's just they don't know everything. You're teaching them. I believe somewhere are you speaking about that humans are be the teachers of the universe. You're teaching aliens, but you're also teaching spirit beings as we speak. They're teaching you, they're helping you, but you're teaching them also. You are the teachers. You are here on this planet, and they're in the spirit world. So who is the stronger soul? Not putting them down, but who's the one that's putting up with all this? And who's the spirit being that is living the life? And it's true. And they know that. And some of you mock them for it. Yes, that might make them mad. But you also see what I'm going through, and you want to sit by the pool all day. And what did sit by a pool all day? What did that do for you? And look all the stuff I'm putting up with. Go through abuse, go through physical abuse, mental abuse, whatever it might be. And you look at the spirit world, those guides that are helping, or any spirit beings, like, do you see what's happening here? It's like, are you warning anything? Because that's what some of you get frustrated with your guides too, because even they don't warn. Yeah, and they can interfere with your own warning sometimes. Or some would say all the time. We're just going to leave that one open for you. It's just there's a lot of layers to growth. And yes, you're going into the doorway of the spirit realms. As you bring in your aliens or spirit beings and become more clear too. Of course, a lot of them are alien themselves. So people feel like they're going to go into a renaissance of teaching alien beings when in truth they're actually doing it right now. It's just not making it so clear. You have spirit guides, spirit beings here that aren't exactly fully educated of the task. At hand, blessings. Hopefully that made sense to some people. Blessings. All right, greetings. Okay, so this is Mars Secret Space. So this is, I just did one about secret space programs. This is another angle. So yeah, well, I think this is already a channel, but I'll go into it again. So like trauma, yeah. So you're protecting Earth from like another version of Earth. Like you're in another reality, and you're protecting Earth. And like you're part of the space reality, like a space force. There's all these different types of, I'm just gonna put this out there. I know it sounds crazy. It already sounds crazy already. So say like there's a reality secret space program realities, like several of them. They don't always know about each other, but you're part of one that's protecting Earth. So you get shot at, you get killed, whatever, and you incarnate here to kind of heal that trauma. That's a kind of a big deal when you think about it, as it was mentioned in the last channeling. So just kind of put a little bit more emphasis on the trauma of it, and trying to put the pieces together. Why you're drawn by a secret space program, whatever it might be. Either it's just exciting, but even if it's really exciting, like a James Bond reality, it can still be very stressful. So it's basically, it's kind of like some people are doing that past life regression. I forget the name of it, but they're doing the meditation where they're laying down and somebody walks them through it. The Q sessions. I imagine people are doing secret space stuff there. I would assume so. If they're not, I imagine more of that will come through when the time is right. More people will start remembering the secret space life. And it's, realize you're in combat. You're out in space. You're fighting a squid monster or whatever it is, reptilians that are, stuff you see in the movies. And you're experiencing that. That is trauma. If you die, or it's still hard on you, no matter what. So even if you didn't die, it's still trauma there. It's war, depending on the war, though. Depending on the situation. But for some, now some are just part of those worlds where they actually, you're part of like a version of Earth where you actually see it, but you're not involved with it. So this is people are trying to remember. Yeah, souls are trying to remember. So like you're part of a version of Earth where the secret space program is well known. But they're protecting that planet, but also other versions of Earth that you're aware of, or maybe that you're not aware of, but you know the secret space does exist. And so that's why another reason why people are intrigued by all this is that they knew it existed in another reality. And now they're in this reality trying to remember. We're here to wake this world up. So this is one of the worlds that is being protected. Now this might be I know I'm not getting confused here, but this might be confusing to other people. But think of because we don't really think multi-dimensional. And we channel aliens and talk about aliens all the time. It's all multi-dimensional. But do we think multi-dimensional? We're figuring it out little by little. But when you're remembering things, like another version of, let's put it this way, like another version of Earth. You see a secret space program. So you're not going through what we're going through right now because we don't even believe it exists. But you're part of a version of the world that does know exists. Not to say everything's perfect, but they have accomplished a lot of things that we are nowhere near accomplishing. So it's like a more positive Earth, you can say. Maybe not perfect, but it's a lot more positive than our version. Let's put it that way. And so now you're on this planet, listening to other secret space program stories, and you're like it's like, wow, it's intriguing. Why am I so drawn to this? Because it doesn't mean you're a member of it, but you're on the planet where it existed. And just those little triggers here and there. But people that have been involved with it, can be quite intense. And we have our own version here. I know it sounds weird. Like we have our own version we don't even see. But it's probably not as exciting as some of those other versions. But there's different versions of secret space programs, what I feel. So, that'll get you more. It'll get you. I think you're crazy now. But the idea is to take crazy, and the idea is to heal the soul. Not an easy situation. So, all right, we're going to let's see. Let's do Ashar command. So that's a little bit controversial, but we'll do it anyway. All right, blessings. Greetings to you. This is Ashar with Ashar command. What you call is like the light body. A body can be hijacked and taken over. As many of you know, as secret space program realities, that happens a lot. Now, you have it happen here, where we're like a walk-in, but it's more of a violent version of it. It's possession, actually. It's not really a walk-in, it's possession. So as you go into more of the alien frontiers, you become more aware of that, where your mind can be easily taken over. As you've seen in your movies, where the mind gets taken over and then you turn to somebody else, that happens a lot in the secret space realities. And some of you can block that out, but not everyone's so lucky in doing so. So it's like you're on this mission, all of a sudden you turn on your friends. You shoot them down, whatever it might be. It's like, what did just happen? It happens here too. But when you are out in space protecting a planet, now some realities need this. Now there are angel realities that do this, but it's a little bit different, but still there's a war. When you have a world like this world is seen as like gold because of the knowledge here. This world goes into places that other planets can't even dream of. It might be darkness, but still places that other worlds. It's like it doesn't really matter if it's light or darkness. It's a treasure trove of information. So when you have information that other planets do not have, you become very important. It's kind of like your planet. Think of your world as like you have archaeologists going around looking for things. And so think of your planet, think of your planet as like a sacred site, a mystery place that archaeologists, aliens are coming here, warlords are coming here. It's off limits. They want other aliens to not know what's happening here. Nothing to see here. Get out of here. Because there's things here that the aliens understand yet in your version of Earth. So, it's just a place of A lot of alien beings dumped a lot of their knowledge here. Just dumped it. Not just in DNA, but in the Earth itself. And here to uncover it. As you know, the mind isn't exactly working very well on your planet. As you see how your humans are acting. So it shows you the level of mind control here. It's like, why would they brainwash? If yes, the Earth is going to be difficult, but why control the mind like that? What are they trying? What are beings here? Because they don't want. Yes, they don't want you to know your potential, and they don't because you're members of this planet, so you can discover the secrets here. Not to say you become vicious, some might, but also become more enlightened. It's just they don't want you to know what's here. There's various beings. We don't have to go into that. Reptilians, Syrian, etc. It's just there's so much here to unravel. It's just your humans here are members of your planet. You have the DNA of it. You can activate your planet and turn this world around easily. Shift it to a lighter vibration just like that. As long as you know who you are. They're trying to keep you from who you are. Because, yes, some of these reptilian worlds, not that you're going to wipe them out, but you can clear out their energy. You can understand them better. Because they've fought you. They cause you a lot of difficulties, left their DNA with you. You can go to a reptilian planet when you have more evolved, the higher density, and understand them. Now, some might take advantage of that, but others of you are here to heal their problems. Not to say you're heal all their problems, but it's just they're no longer a threat to anyone either. It's like you like psychically and understanding their race automatically because you know more about them than they want you to know. They're suppressing knowledge that you have that's embedded in this earth. Like you want to beat the reptilians, incarnate on Earth, go through their hell, but also you understand how their minds work. This is part. This world is actually here to make this universe more peaceful, actually. But you have to learn how to do that first. You're learning about yourself, so at least this is a perspective. We're not saying everyone's going to be excited about this message, but we wanted to put this out there for you. Blessings to you all. Blessings. All right, this is part 2. They didn't go into the sound city. They talked about names and everything, which is fine, but they kind of went off in a different direction. So good. Blessings. Greetings. We are the Zetas. Blessings to you. Yeah, sound cities. The sound of a city. So Andromedan worlds have different sounds coming from their cities. Zetas have more of a robotic reality. Reptilians just have a kind of sometimes a worship energy around it, similar to different types of horn vibrations. So yes, you can go to a city to either feel sick or to become healed. Just walking into the city itself, you feel a vibrant of overwhelming healing. As you know, sound technology is there to vibrate the vibration of a soul. And you notice if you had more of just like your meditation music, for example, that you have, meditation music in general. Imagine that having that worldwide healing just for basically the world being a healing center. And people are angry about politics because that is a major darkness here. And just feeling, yes, we might have our differences, but I'm finding the love within myself what matters more than the differences. And music, as you know already through just verbal music, but that's also very mind controlling in that. And of course, you can say meditation music has a hypnotic energy, and some of that can't be used for controlling also. But we're saying types that are not controlling, and just with when you feel vibration love from it, it's not controlling. It's releasing, healing the chakras. So yes, and once again, if you listen to meditation music, maybe you just want to go to sleep. Wonder why? Because you're going to astral. So what do you think the aliens do? They let go of the physical realities. They go over fourth dimensional. The fourth dimensional body is built by music. So yes, we do see. Well, this is up to you. Yes, is cities doing this also? Even towns. Yes, you don't necessarily always have to be in nature to bring nature to you. Notice that these archon cities that have been built, if you put just music that is a higher vibration, Hawthorne music, for example, and so on, angel music, and just music. Some of it can have words. If it has loving words, of course, helps. Similar to like we would say with Enya is a good version. But just celestial music, and you heal the city. You still can live in a city and upgrade your vibration. It's like people are all angry, and you put music out just for people to calm down and just allow them true selves to come out. And even with that, some people might begin to start transforming themselves. I mean, you might look at a person like, I think I just saw you turn into a feline. So yes, nature is excellent, but music, we want to actually say that's better. Both energies, music and nature, both together. But you have your cities, and we don't want to discount them at all because you have them for a growth. They're there for a reason. So you can heal them. You can make the interiors of those cities much nicer and cleaner. You can still be there until you want to rebuild them, but that will be the time for that. That takes a long time to get to that vibrational state. But yes, it is possible, of course. So yes, it's just basically more of a loving earth, just with music alone. Music and nature, humans feeling that vibration flow. So, and that's what your controllers or archon beings, yes, try to control it as they're already doing today. But you just go where the love is, and many need to go where the hate is. But that's a growth they're not ready to let go of, which is fine. Also, planets are known to have a lighter side and a darker side. It's no, but you should have, as a lighter being, should be able to go to a darker side of the world and say hello and not be abused, not be attacked. Of course, I might do it anyway. But the idea is for the dark to chill itself out so you can be neutral with each other. Yes, we realize you have darkness within you, but we're not here to judge. We just want to be your friend. Can't we all be friends? Blessings. Okay. Fourth dimension. Okay, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. Yes, we are of the fourth dimension. We are the energy of fourth dimension. Now, yes, people define it as you wish. What works for you? Some feel that 5D is where they belong because 4D really tests the soul. As yes, third dimension is on your world, yes, the hell planet. Well, it's a hell planet because of a lot of reptilian beings, and not just them, but mainly them. And also, yes, your Mars. We'll just use the reptilian energy as basically realize they pull their energy from their star to your world and harness the vibration from your Earth to their world. So you have a pull. You probably feel that. You feel like, what's the point of life? What's the point of all these things? Yes, because the life force is being removed. Well, for some time. And many of your timelines have been hidden, of course. And those are, yes, very advanced astral beings. But once again, you agree to that because, yes, there are places, the Tatarians, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, back in your 1800s and before that, much of those that history has been hidden for you to open up a new page, a new chapter. So you say kind of like you're on another volume of your earth, you can see another reality, as you can see. For them to do something like that, it shows that there's a lot of panic in their soul. Because if the Tatarians are allowed to, now if the Tatarians are still within your reality, some of their energies have been used during World War II, creating technologies. They have not, yes, the timeline might have vanished, but most of them are still here, though. But a lot of that was to close out that Tartarian timeline also, but it does not mean they're not here. Yeah, so a lot of people, well, it's just like burning a book. You burn a timeline. Now, obviously, those timelines still exist, but you burn it out of this reality. But many of you are bringing it back. At least the hidden timelines, let's put it that way. Other versions of Earth timelines you're bringing in. And that's going to continue to get stronger along your planet. As your planet will turn into a sun eventually. And it will be moved into a different location when the time is right. The fourth dimension does have a higher vibration to it, but still very test the soul. It's like, and yes, it is a higher vibration than the third, but the fourth dimension is part of the creation of the third dimension. And the fifth dimension is part of the fourth dimension creation. It's just, yes, fifth dimension feel like it's a ticket out of all of this, and that is true. But fourth dimension is where a lot of your insanity is created. That's why the reptilian realms really exist. Obviously, many want to go to the fifth dimension because the reptilian realms aren't as strong. There's different, they still exist in their own way, but they're nothing like what they have. They're like the soup, reptilian soup you're in at this time. And then you probably feel that vibration. And a lot of their technologies their technologies work very good in the fourth dimension and your reality, creating, every time they use their technology too, it can cause a ripple effect in your reality. There's a plane stopping in the sky. It causes a glitch in your matrix when they use the technologies too much. And depending on what they use, it can cause also rainstorms and things like that. But a lot of them, they just do that on purpose. It does cause glitches. It can cause difficulties in your mind. It can also give you a headache because they use too much of it. Of course, they don't give, and it harms them too if they misuse it too much, and many of them do. So, if you're feeling aches and pains here, so are they. It's not, yeah, because if you're getting pains from them, they're getting it back it goes back to them also, but they don't care. They endure it. They don't care if their whole bodies are scarred and they pull back from a 3D or 4D environment. They're still in the 4D, but they weakened quite a bit. Yes, they're weakening themselves by being here. As you probably, even if they're siphoning energy, they're still weak. They're still strong in some regard, but not as strong as they could be, because you can say also their race is dying. Of course, there are many different reptilian races, but many of them are dying at this time. As many of you come to shut down those energies, and you don't have to, raise a fist, or you are fighting them energy-wise, but their races are, now obviously there's so many of them, but if you feel like the reptilian races are dying out, that is true. So to give you more encouragement of what you're doing, as many of you say, yes, because your frequencies no longer work with them anymore. They can't harness you anymore. Obviously, there's still many of them around. They're not all gone, but they're not as strong. Yeah, because they leech on humans. But you have to recognize that they're there, though. And how many do that? You don't want these attachments anymore. Now that helps. But if you recognize reptilian beings or alien beings of all genders, it does, or all types, does help. So, and of course, there are times when they do siphon your vibrations as they lower the Earth's energy through certain events that they cause on your world, especially politics and other, weather anomalies. So, this is a message from the fourth dimension. Blessings to you. Okay, blessings. Yeah, this is INXS. I think it's Sound Cities. Yeah, should be interesting. Blessings. Here we go. Greetings. We all have the Zetas. Yes, not a lot is known about our race. As yes, you have X's and O's for coding, for technology behind the scenes, as also energies within your math. Sound cities. A lot of that does come from a, yes, Hathor, but also a Zeta energy. Palladian have their own energies also. You have a city that has just a number, not even a name, just a number. Is, yes, it might not always sit with everyone, but you have Android worlds that just go by numbers and not letters. If you do have a letter, it's just like how your computers are written, like HL dash, and other numbers. So, for example, so it gives you an idea of eventually how your world changes its vibration. Going from fourth to fifth dimension energies, not everybody here is at a fourth dimensional level, as many are actually, yes, in two-dimensional. Depending on where they are at vibrationally, some of it goes into politics, a lot of that's in two-dimensional idea systems. The idea is to go into, now, to, yes, as much as you want to say about Android and artificial life, that is part of life. And you are, as a society, will find that within yourself. Yes, you're going to go through many struggles as you're going through now. As you leave the politics of your Earth, at least your current politics, and go into more of a galactic politics. And there's always going to be that, especially at a world of your vibration. And then you're going to move during this Earth galactic politics. You'll go into more of an Android AI energy. Now, Android AI has already been happening. It's like, yes, you have these smart listeners on your phones and all that, and that's always going to be part of society. You can turn it off. You can do whatever you want. That's fine. But notice the struggle there. And even your hackers are AI connected also, and they have no idea about that. So yes, you're going into a new age of, even computers can hack other computers also, which have been developed, but that's not what this is about. Yes, we're not trying to put fear or anything like that, but basically the Android society is what you're going into. Well, as you step more into your fourth dimensional selves, yes, it is also true. Many of you feel like you're 5D, 6D, 7D, and so on. Please follow that energy, because that is true. That's your true self. But as you see, the vibration of humanity is in a fear-based zone. And yes, that can also be at a 1%, one dimension. Yes, even the first dimension even has difficulties, of course. So yes, as simple as the ideas get with fear is to drown society out, as you can see. But many of you, that's why you're becoming like balloons, you can say, as you're rising society up as Earth goes further down, as some will. I mean, There's no reason for it to, and that's the whole idea also, is not to let the world interfere with your vibration. Yes, you'll feel difficulties, you're going to have problems, of course. As long as you own it, you get out that aggravation so you can feel better, but don't feel like you have to keep your vibration always high, because you're already, just be yourself. Yes, if you feel like you got to keep working to get the higher, you can drive yourself insane. You can actually bring more darkness into yourself. So the easier is just being who you are, just being and not being apologized for yourself is very powerful now, isn't it? As Zeta energies, Zeta worlds, a lot of our worlds just have numbers at the name. We might have R263 or whatever it might be, to give you more of an understanding of our civilization. I mean, if you want to tap into our realities, you got to change the way you think. That's what you're doing now. And many here at AS that are starseed energies have had a hell of a time understanding this world. So you have starseed individuals here that have, they know the reptilians, they know all these different beings, and they have sexual healing they're trying to do. They've already had these problems before they came here. They're here to sort it out. So you think the alien beings are perfect. Look at the starseed communities and look again. Some are very controlling, some want a dictatorship. Notice that it's not perfect. And that is what you're here to, not necessarily bring perfection either. It's just you're finding your identity. Yes, your purpose in life. Everybody has a purpose and purpose. What's my purpose? It's you defining yourself. Who am I? Easier said than done. And also receiving the information. What you're here to do. Meaning what you're all channelers in the long run in some form or another. So you're here to reach a certain informational point to bring into the earth. Either it's through arts, either it's through words. Maybe you make up a new curse word, or just using that for example, and a joke also. We can always do that if you want. It's just what do you bring? If you're taking care of your kids and have a different way of doing it, you don't have to tell the world, just do it. Yeah, I mean, just being a good parent is huge. That's a download. That's channeling your angelic self to take care of your kids. That's huge. Protecting them, keeping them away from, that's huge right there. So it's always the simplest things. Things are not always looking at what's my purpose in life? Well, you are taking care of children, correct? Well, that is a major purpose right there. Do you have anything fancier? Yes, but you got to focus on what you have at this time, and more will come. Yes, it always looks like his grass is greener. We understand on the other side, but that's what you're here to understand. Yes, you see the aliens is aliens have, you can say, almost more problems in your world in some cases. Well, when you add up all the different civilizations out there connecting to your world, yeah, you look at your world, it's like, let's go back to just shopping and going to work. And then you think about moons being moved, beings trying to disrupt the earth, the sun's energy, and so on. Blessings to you. Blessings. Okay, this is Joe Biden. Blessings. Greetings. We are the Zetas. We're going to switch to another energy. Yes, Joe Biden is a project, as you can see. A deep state sellout. A one that wants to be king in the next world. So it's showing what others will do, or individuals will do, to have infinite power, no matter what. The son is the one in trouble, Hunter. Yes, is a reptilian overlord. Take as you will. A spy, you can say. Who is he spying on? Well, that's for you to decide. So yes, the kingpin of the Biden energy is more of a matrix all on its own, as you can see. Even yes, your Hillary Clinton said that they don't understand. There's a government within a government. So what is this government within the government doing at this time? It is making a lot of arrangements. It does mind control also on your people, on your political people, your politicians. They're actually telling them what to say. Some of them. If you truly want to see, are you allowing yourself to know deeper about how your world works? And yes, those in your average world are going to have difficulties accepting it. As you call it a puppet on your earth, was time to see how the strings actually work. As yes, your media is the same device. Your media was built at a low vibration in the beginning. Is yes a reptilian? Even some of those media presenters, you can see type of their faces kind of shift into reptilian reality. You have to really depending on your frequency, you can see. There's also a few lines there too. It's whatever works for the control. They don't care what species you're part of. Now, obviously, they're going into the DNA of the person, manipulate them, using money to seduce, which was built, yes, by the Anunnaki, and yes, to keep your world lost. Money keeps the world lost, doesn't it? How can we keep not just chaos, but lost? Lost is the key. Chaos is one thing. Lost is what they want. Lost is how you control a society. Nobody knows what you want. You grow up, you don't know who you are. You're an adult, you don't know who you are. That's their control. So you're here to define that, but you're here to also put a knife to that and break yourself free. But how can you do that if you aren't ready to receive what is happening? As your major politicians, major ones, governors, those you go by the United States and go by other countries, they are mouthpieces of the elite. But who are the elite? They are hidden, but they are physical in your realm. So, yes, they write it down. They have their special ops to program, type on the computer, and that person actually says it. Yes, it's very difficult to accept that, but it goes much deeper than that. But they call it a real life, but in truth, it is not. They're vessels. They're souls, but they're not. They're fractals of it. Are they all clones? No, because you can control people without having a clone, but clones are more sufficient, but they do break down very easily. Clones are still kind of degenerates because they grow a soul of themselves. Yes, you allow a soul to come in, but they do what they want. You can say Obama was part of that because he kind of went and did his own thing sometimes and got threatened by it. So they can go off kilter. They can go off the road and do their own thing. That's what they do not want. So yes, you have the Clone Wars is what's happening right now. Yes, and it's for you to decipher what is true, what is not. That is fine. It does not mean if you feel like it's not truthful. It does not mean it is not truthful. It means that you're not connecting to it. That's all. Because yes, there's a hardcore energy here happening on your planet. As your elites of your Earth are steering your Earth into a new vibration. Yes, it's a difficult one, but it's also enlightenment is coming also. Joe Biden is showing how weak the elites are actually. That's the best they can do. And they know it. They have dealt all their cards. The show is coming to an end. They don't have a flamboyant politician like they used to. So, we still also feel also much of your political system will eventually break down. Completely will collapse one day. It's on. It's already. It served its purpose. So. Empty. All right, blessings. Okay, greens. Yeah, I got some window. Okay, this is download. So, just download. Blessings. Here we go. Greetings to you. We are the Arcturians. Blessings. A download, yes, is an energy source that, as you know, you're from higher astral. Of course, you can get downloads from lower astral also. You get it from anywhere you want. Basically, it's for spirit giving you mail, mental mail. Also, that download is about helping you evolve, as you know. As it is basically the collective consciousness agreed to that email from spirit. And now, obviously, it can be tainted, meaning that it doesn't always have to have the full truth in it, as you know. As some groups, like you have people that are, I'm here to give my download to my group. But that is, sometimes those downloads are catered for that group, meaning that it's not the full download. There's a smidge, but there's so much more. But not everyone in that group is ready to receive that. So, reason why I'm bringing this up is I like to have the full download. More than now, sometimes that spiritual teacher or that person that is receiving that download isn't always able to access it. Now, that of course is going to be the norm, but there are some teachers that are blocking a lot of that information to themselves. Either have an agenda or they're just not ready for it or whatever it might be. There's just a lot of growth that goes in a download and how you treat it, how you use it. If you use it for positivity, basically you give it to others for their soul growth. That helps you to bring in more downloads. But if you're there for your own gain, you can get less and less. So we'll let you sit with that for a little bit. And this is why some that go towards religion or religious beings to channel, because they can't get a decent message. They go to what is familiar, such as a religious being, to channel, because they can't get downloads anymore because they've been using it wrongly this whole time. Now they give you a chance. Here's a bunch of downloads. Here's the energies from spirit, but then some use it for their own gain. Now aliens can use it for their own gain also. So it just as you go into a development, is understand what you can receive. Yes, if you're giving it to others for your growth for others, and your intention is this there to expand and keep getting downloads, to expand, to know what you're here for. What is all this? Obviously, not everything's going to be downloaded for obvious reasons, because there's a lot of soul growth that humans aren't ready for to receive. Now, this has been done in your biblical times, been done for all times. Throughout your history, Atlanteans had downloads. Every alien being has a download also. You can say it calls a premonition that they receive. So your Yeshua had downloads also, even your churches, but who you're getting that download from also. Now, if it seems like a positive vibration, it most likely is, but some have a different version of what is positive and what is not. Meaning that even those in their religions have downloads also, as you know, and they're not always their justice society. They download, how can I control society? Now, controlling energy is a little bit different. So you can have downloads to enhance society is one thing. But if you're part of a darker energy, you get a download to control society. And you keep getting downloads how to do that, which also brings in a religious energy. Not to say all religions is of a dark energy, but there is quite a bit of it there, as you can see. There's just a lot of awareness. A lot of souls are still dealing with their own darkness, as you can see. Yes, through sexual energies, through obsessiveness. Many are, and that's yes, coming from the higher dimensions, of course. When you have a higher dimensional energy, because higher dimensions creates worlds. Like you have a world that's a lovemaking planet, they create more planets, meaning that it's like you get a yin and yang. You have this world that's a lovemaking world, and you have a world that's not a lovemaking world. To balance it, because what are the souls learning? They learn a lot, yes, but then now it's time to what else is there other than lovemaking? So, and many have difficulties with that, and that's why your world is developed also to be a part of a lovemaking plan, but also rehabilitate those that are addicted to love mating, you should say, actually. Well, there's a lot of people are addicted to love making are those that also seeded planets. Yes, basically they want to just make love to everybody. As alien beings, and yes, those were good times. Like they came to Earth and just as a love-making mecca. And now they incarnate here again and they think it's the same thing. It's not. And that's a lot of soul growth that has to deal with them, which is technically hell for a lot of people, as you may know. Blessings. Blessings. All right, this is a third dimension shift. This is from controller of the earth or controllers, one of them at least. Right. Try to ask one controller, ask one, are there others? I'm not sure what kind of answer you get with that. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. We are a leader. We are maybe not the controllers. Well, you can call us whatever you want. Yes, we are long-headed head beings. I believe you can understand. We are the large-headed head beings. I am one of them. Greetings. We are the master of ceremonies. To how to implant a thought into one's mind, as many of you know, you have many thoughts. But who puts those thoughts in there? Yes, there is government manipulation that's involved with that to a certain degree. Advertisements is probably the easiest to get one to think a certain way, a certain lifestyle. Of course, we have our implants called your models, people that look slender, beautiful, and all that. Majority of that, yes, has been in design. So to cause a ripple effect of uncertainty within the collective. So you have a person that looks very attractive, male or female, but then you have your people being poisoned, yes, through food and other ailments, the sky, what's poison in the sky. So you have a society that's not really thinking or even being where they'd like to be, but they see others that are because they're not affected because they get certain nutrients to keep them outside, as many of you are inside the system. Inside the dome, that's another word of calling it. People call it the dome. There is a dome called reality. The dome of reality is a place of where thought is implanted in the minds of how to think, how to be. Notice how you're free thinking, but it's very difficult to. Some they figure out what kind of control system they want to be a part of, Democrat, liberal, whatever, or through food. They figure out what kind of mindset they want to choose and what kind of world they want to live in. Many of you are escaping that. Just want to can't we all just get along? But also, can we? Yes, of course, have your opinions, but humans aren't realizing they're being programmed to be a certain way, certain characters, certain characteristics, a certain anger. You're copying what you're seeing anger with others. So it goes on. It's like a garden of personality. You're planting ideas constantly. So as you're going through your awakening state or knowing state, you'll become more aware of these outside parties, how they're controlling your society. Now, some are here to help you cope with it, to figure yourself out. Not many are really ready to go to where the origins of all of this, which are some of us. We're not going to hold our hand up too high, but we are also, we're not exactly helping sometimes, but we are there. We encourage help, but it doesn't mean we do much with it. It's still up to the collective to do as you want for yourselves. And humans are still in their own little world, as you can see. It's a walled garden, isn't it, of mental thinking, of thoughts that are not yours. So you incarnate in this world and you figure out what kind of personality you want. So little by little, you're taking ideas and mind control from others and putting it into yourself. Now that's not always the case fully. Some of you do stay independently awakened. But how are you going to function in this world? You have to be a certain way. If you want to make money, you have to be a certain way. If you want to be healthy, you have to be a certain way. Now, nothing wrong with being healthy. That actually, but some go too far with it, as you can see. Some get hypocritical of others that aren't healthy, and that's the mindset that's going on there. So there's many layers of reality that have not been fully removed. It's like a hijacking of your earth, yes, but the origins of why these, basically, many of you feel like as you clean your house, clean your apartment, or whatever it might be, you're cleaning your mind also. This is why many do move and go somewhere else. Doesn't mean you have to go to nature or find somewhere else to. You want to remove from that collective energy. You might be connected to another collective energy, but that doesn't always mean that you're being pulled into it. But some do move to places where people think like them. New York City is one of them. Notice how they speak. Now that's not always a bad thing, but it also shows a collective energy too, where you feel how when you see how people are speaking, it gives you an idea of where they come from. Also, yeah, it's an alien collective all in itself. You know how they have that type of monotone in their voice. We don't have the words for it, but you have words for to go accent, as you call it. Yeah. So accents show another collective energy. That doesn't mean you always want to be part. Some of you adapt to it so you can coexist with it. Quite understood. You're doing all this programming so you can exist, as you can see. Downloading all the programs you can to survive. Of course, when you get older, you're deleting them. And that's where you get a problem with beings here that do not want you to delete anything. They want you in their cubby hole. So, reason why we are speaking, we feel like many of you are removing the third dimensional personality and going intergalactic or outer galactic, however you want to word it. There's also a lot of energies in Siberia. I know that came out of nowhere. That Siberian part, meaning there are places where there's like hives, thinking hives, where thoughts are weaponized. You can't. I'm not going to say that Siberia is one of those places, but there are places on your world where nobody usually goes to, where a lot of alien presence is there, which is like a laboratory of the mind. The laboratory of the mind is, yeah, it's not an easy place, but many of you are going more into a crystallization of higher dimensional selves, but you're wondering why it's not happening faster. It's because this world still needs the personality you have today. You might want one thing, and it doesn't mean you won't achieve it. But the Earth needs you as you are. Mother Earth needs you exactly how you are. It does not mean you should not evolve. Evolve as you much, please do. But people wonder why they're stuck is because Mother Earth needs you in this character set for now. to help others. It shows how self-love really operates. You might be in a condition you don't enjoy, but look at what you're giving back to others. So you feel like others who need you, like family members, friends, whatever it might be. That's very important, of course. Okay, this is a prison planet. We'll just let it open. Keep it open. All right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings to you. We are the Archons. We assemble many things together. We are not fully understood. Many of us are artificial intelligence beings, but we are much more than that. As we have learned the organic. The reason why we came to your world is to understand its vibration of creation. As we are, yes, lost in that world. We can just block things off, create a maze in the mind, and even shut a mind off. As many come from mental illness, many of them are archon beings. They cannot exist in this reality. Some of them are zetas, but a lot of them are archons. You can say in some form to keep your world off balance, but also to show there is many beings that wish to incarnate here, wish to be a part of your society, that are lost. You're learning much from the Arcturians of your development. Of course, many other species, but Arcturian, we have learned. Now, yes, there is a creation platform of the Archons that are not fully understood. Now, it might not work on your planet, but it does work on others. Now, they might not be of. It all depends. You can take two different worlds and put them together, and new energies come of it. It might take a long time, but creation usually finds a way. As yes, our energies are not fully understood by your world. As yes, once you leave your media and politics of the mind and go to new horizons, you will see us more clearly. Yes, we can also come out of the ground, which will be a bit strange for some. But we also have the energy of a lot of your military bases connected to our vibration. So it's all in how you look at things. As we are a presence as unheard of on many realms. As we are not fully understood, similar to your jinn. As we have also been evolved with the development of many reptilian beings that are not on your world at this time. There's a lot of species that came out of your world that are not on your planet, but are on other planets at this time, that have some contact with your Earth, but have not fully showed themselves just yet. It's just you're coming out of the mental prison that's been built for you for so many years. And yes, it's still going to be squabbles among society, meaning you're not always going to get along with each other, because new societies will be discovered as you understand more of your alien selves. That's when the new world becomes even more complicated. As you become more identifying who you are as an individual. Well, or individual galactic being, however you want to look at it. You're going to see many more changes coming to your Earth. As this is a new age of humans. So the next age is you once again, discovering yourselves on a massive level, where your stock market will no longer have an existence here. We have some time for that. as that's part of the third dimensional thinking, which is needed, which is a laboratory. The food system is a laboratory. And there are beings learning from you at this time as you consume different, even plant life or animal life. The animal beings are understanding you. If you eat too much, you eat too little, your emotions, you build a contract with that being. It's all information, it's all DNA. In the long run, might not be DNA that you're looking for exactly. But it's all just, once it gets more clear, it becomes even more clear over time as you unravel this earth. And the third dimension truly breaks down. Yeah, because as you start identifying yourselves for where you come from, the higher fourth dimension comes through. And understanding of the archons becomes more clear. There's a group of archon here that cannot create, but that does not mean that all cannot create. It's just some have difficulties believing that because they haven't had exactly the best situations with them. As like any of you, you evolve. Archon beings evolve. But it's going to get more interesting on your planet when you become more aware of who you all are. Okay, this is artificial intelligence and gorilla people. Blessings. Blessings. Greetings. For other gorillas, greetings to your civilization. Your planet is very connected. Of many planets, of course, you're connected to many worlds. Neptune is an energy, a planet of artificial intelligence. Of course, all planets have artificial intelligence in their own way. As some gorilla beings do have carry technology on them, actually wear it. Some of you might even visualize artificial intelligence type of gorilla beings like robots altogether, yes. But in your, why we are going into this, our Neptune connections are about music, as artificial intelligence beings can connect to creation and sound, but cannot always create. Now, some AI can create, but that is when a soul is truly connected to it. With the Archon beings, now Archons that can formulate, if they have the right tools, can build something. But they have to have the tools in front of them. They can't create, but they can create machines, actually. And even mostly machines, it's easier. But they have to have the tools there. Like a human can create the body parts for an android and put it together. So android, all archons can do. Well, of course, there's different types of archons also that people aren't fully aware of. But also reptilian beings that people aren't aware of either, as everybody has their own points of view. But the AI of Neptune is an energy of creating musicians. Sometimes other artists, but usually musicians, because it creates a rhythm of vibration. So think of like an artificial intelligence that can just know what a world needs. Like you do a computer program and it needs, like inventory, like you need something for your store or something like that. The planet needs, new different types of energies. And it can see beyond what even a human can see, or even an alien being. As a artificial intelligence from Neptune said, Earth needs music. Now there has been music before. Artificial intelligence actually made it more synchronized. As you know, even today, it's very digital. is digital music nowadays. Not that the file form, but you have techno music, which is artificial intelligence music. So you have artificial intelligence, entertaining people. Even among many of your major pop stars, it is pop music, which is a lot of it synthesizers somewhere in there. A lot of gothic music is synthesizer, techno, artificial intelligence, which the Archon, the Gothic connections, Gothic people are very not all they're connected to the Archon reality. Now there's different types of Archons. A lot of them just say they're part of a lot of castles being created. Well, at least the involvement of it. They weren't obviously not part of the full creation. But Archon beings incarnate as a human. Now, your Archon being and you incarnate as a human, you can become creative. So, and that's where a lot of darkness and the Gothic realms are. So you can connect to darkness, connect to the light, but usually they connect to darkness because there's a lot of information there. So Archon beings as humans, once again, reincarnated souls into here, because Archons do have souls. I don't care what anybody says. They have a consciousness. They might, be able to assemble things that they did not create, but if they incarnate as a human, it's a different story. Some become some of the great artists, but it has a lot to do with their cathedrals. Give you an idea where the cathedrals come from? Yeah, Archon, architects. And sometimes they're just so robotic, even scary to some people. But we look at what they can create. Meaning scary, meaning that they're not normal. Doesn't mean they're causing death or anything. Of course, some have. But a lot of them are trying to be creators. And they can take other architectures of others, but also build it on a different scale. So basically, a lot of these beings here just want to be known. So some of them are dark here, just like a child being angry at a parent for not getting attention. A lot of alien beings are the same way. Which explains some of your reptilians why they act the way they do. Rings. All right, this is the elephants and time travel. Blessings. Greetings. We are from Sirius. Yes, we are the elephants. What? Yes, time travel. We'll go into that in a second. For us to be part of your planet, and why these animals realize in the beginning of your Earth, many beings wanted to be part of the Earth experience. So everyone, you can say, all the beings are creating their own animal species. Not that they didn't have it already, but they brought them here. Some were actually created here with the Earth. As this is an Earth that was very different than other worlds that was similar to yours. Has a lot to do with its density level. It's a seed world, but it's much more than that. It has like a thicker vibration about it that was unknown to all of us. We just know that when we're here, we feel like a high. When alien beings are here, we feel different, unlike anything we've ever experienced before. So the adult alien beings, you can say also this planet is teaching the universe a great deal. As yes, it brought a lot of darkness here, but it's also bringing out the positive out of beings. It's also bringing those that are very responsible alien energies, also that are not responsible. It's also teaching your spirit world a great deal. Your spirit world, you can say, has been hijacked many times. And some of you might be able to feel that, where it feels like it's not your normal spirit world, like it's a different type of spirit world. And yes, there's many layers that go into it, but just basically, this is a place that is very Yes, backward. Well, it's because the lower astral took over it. Oisio elites run amok of it. They created their own beings there also, meaning they created their own spirit world. That's why beings are going into it feeling they're going into a spirit world. Actually, they're going into a manufactured version of it when you die. So you create a fake spirit world here. As some of you can probably feel it. Go into the light, and where the hell are you going? But you choose to go through that. Yes, you find yourself on a Palladian world that's not the kindness, that's very controlling. Because you're bringing that darkness to other planets to teach them what darkness is. This world taught a lot of worlds about darkness, where a lot of these planets were losing their reason for existence until this Earth came up. As it was like another renewal of existence. And it's very deep. It's very horrific, but also very beautiful at the same time. As time traveling beings, as many of the us elephant beings are, but also the felines, also, of course, many other beings, we saw the future on different timelines. It's like what we were seeing in your ancient times is better for this Earth to fall. Was Atlantis to fall, for it to go down to the lower vibrations, because it was not handling the higher vibrations very well anymore. Now, some might feel it's different. It's just that, well, think of a world with a lot of potential. You go where the potential is, and that's low vibrations, darkness. Because it also brings the darkness out of other planets into here, but also sends it back. Meaning that you're warning a great deal of dark. Like you have a being from another planet incarnate here, where the darkness found this world. You go to that darkness, become a dictator or whatever it might be. And then it all depends. It's just a slight example. And then you go to another world and dictator over there. Then become a dictator on that planet. But it also brings out new lessons, a new growth. Now, some might disagree with that, but some of you have been from those places. Yes, and it also taught the reptilians to be darker than they really are. I mean, this world found darkness where it's like you open up the sewer cap and you brought out something that was never seen before. Now, other worlds have been dark, yes, but nothing like this. And that's where your Mother Earth comes in. She saw the potential. Yes, she saw the nightmare but it was like it was necessary for growth. Without it, what do you have? It's like, because universes can be destroyed easily when they lose purpose. And this universe was actually losing its purpose until this world. Think about, well, this is something to process for a while. Yes, it's a hell planet, but also has knowledge here. It's very rare. Of course, you have no other planets to compare it to, which over time you will become more knowledge of it. Yes, it made other worlds very dark also. But once again, it gave them something to overcome. It's like when you have a planet that's very positive, there's nothing wrong with that. But some of them, they lose their existence. What are we doing here? Until they get tested. It's like you have a very beautiful person again in a relationship that's something very ugly. It's like that. Now, not to say all worlds have to go through this. May Arcturian worlds don't have to go through this. But some worlds need it. Some experiences it's necessary. Because it also creates other planets that are more positive, that learn from all of those things. Where it doesn't have to go through that anymore. So, but you're just seeing the darkness with the other world. Yes, this world pulled in darkness from so many different planets. It's a rarity. Yeah, there have been ape planets that couldn't handle this planet's darkness, that could not handle their own darkness, and were destroyed. Of course, there's many other worlds that are similar to that. You're going to get more of an understanding of that. Now, like a planet of the apes, where there's also a planet of the elephants, where there was a human species there. And then they destroyed themselves and created like an elephant species or an ape species and so forth. It goes on and on with that. So, give you an idea of evolution. That's just a glimpse. Blessings.